Anybody who says I'm fine with being in debt and I have no plan to get out of debt, do not marry them. That's number one. Dana's number one marriage advice, so that you don't have to hire us to handle your divorce. This is why you date them for a while. You see how they're doing with their money. You look at what their investments and portfolio is. It's not that you're marrying for money. Right. You're excluding them, though, for bad money practices.
Right. Make sure he's doing the steps he needs to do to get rid of it. If you're not seeing him progress within a year, I say jump out of that relationship. Don't keep investing into it.
Your credit score only deals with how well you interact with credit. For you to have a good credit score, you have to have borrowed money and paid interest. You're buying your credit score, and that's not worth buying. You know what's better? Just having money. And then when you want to buy something, you just go buy it. You don't have to buy it on credit. You just buy it because you have money. The way that you do that is by never borrowing money, and therefore, if you never borrow money, you won't have a credit score. That's ideal.
Should I keep dating someone that has a lot of debt?
I wouldn't. I don't know. If you got a lot of debt, you're not my caliber of person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think it depends on what kind of debt they have. They have a house.
It depends.
Oh, they had student loans. I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to get with somebody that's going to potentially ruin my life. They're not on my level. They're not my caliber of person.
Well, just like I said, it depends. If they have a ton of credit card debt, that's one thing. But if they have a house, that's like building equity.
It depends.
You know?
It depends.
And if they have student loans because they have a career that they're in.
You got somebody in $1 million house with a $500,000 mortgage, and that's all the debt that they've got, and they've got other assets, and their net worth is positive and similar to mine, then that's somebody that I'm a peer with. Mm-hmm. And because anybody else, it's not an equal partnership. It's just not going to be. It's one of the characteristics that I would look for, and it's one of the screening mechanisms of, no, I'm not going to sit and have to babysit somebody. I don't want a child. Mm-hmm. I want a wife. You'd have to be somewhat similar with that. Mm-hmm. And if not, you're going to have a money problem, and it's going to destroy your relationship anyway. Mm-hmm. So what's the point?
Okay, well, I'll give you my scenario then. When me and Daniel met, I had a house. Mm-hmm. So I had the house that we're living in right now. I had debt. I had $25,000 in credit card debt, which I told him.
What did he have?
He had student loan debt. He didn't have credit card debt. He didn't own anything. So he had a car, but I don't know if he had a car payment.
It wouldn't be just the fact that you had the debt. I would look deeper into it. Uh-huh. But the question is, should I date someone with a lot of debt? And the a lot indicates, of course it's relative, but it indicates a debt problem. Mm-hmm. So would I date somebody that has a debt problem? Absolutely not.
No. I mean, you can always tell by someone's character whether or not they're like a spender and they don't care, and they don't care if they have debt and they're not doing anything about it.
Yep.
And then you can look at somebody like myself, who I did care about having the debt. Mm-hmm. I was trying to get out of the debt.
Yep.
I mean, it was at a situation, it was when like the stock market, everything had crashed. So I was bonusing at a really high level at one point. And then when the stock market crashed and everything went to crap, my pay shifted because I wasn't getting the bonuses I used to get. So things kind of changed. So at one point I was paying it all off. And I had my credit card like down, I think I was down to like 7,000 or 6,000, but it raked back up because we were paying, I think I was paying $500 a month in gas alone because the gas prices were up to almost $5 a gallon.
Yep.
So it was a lot of factors that were hitting me.
When Summer and I got married, Summer had moved in with her aunt in order to pay off her debts. And because of that, I was like, okay, she's got it. And the only debt I had was my school debt, which I didn't like either. And, would I go back and do that again? I don't know. I don't know what I would do with that.
Well, I remember when we got married, we ended up tackling out the debt and got rid of it. I mean, I paid a chunk of it myself. And then like I had a car and I was working at Henry's and Shops of Legacy at the time, and I was bonusing really well. And I was taking all my bonuses and just dumping it into my car. And I paid off the car And I paid, on the house, we had an 80-20 loan. I paid the 20% loan off on the house.
Oh, good.
Just with my bonuses. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, we were very, very big about taking care of it.
Let's see what this lady says.
Yeah. This might be a different story.
Let me preface this with saying that I was previously involved in a financially abusive relationship. So I take financial security very seriously.
So should you repeat the cycle? I'm just going to go with no. And then, okay, is that good for you? Next caller? No, let's see.
And make me nervous. I am in a somewhat new relationship.
Hold on. Did I go to double?
2.
Sorry, everybody. I'm used to how I normally look at it. We just speed these up just a little bit.
I'm referencing was 4 years ago, so we're past that. This new relationship is moving along quickly. However, I just found out that they have a significant amount of debt.
How much? How much you think? How much you think it is? How much you think is significant?
It's got to be over 100,000.
Well, we'll see. It could be any amount. It's at least 25 grand. I would say it's significant. Although, no, I mean, even 5 or 10 or 15 could be. It depends on where you're at.
Depends on what they make.
Yeah, it
too.
depends on where you make, how old you are.
With not a lot of income.
Not a lot of income. How much is not a lot?
Yeah.
But a lot of debt and not a lot of income, that's the double-bladed sword
scary.
right there.
I'm just not sure if it's something I should, try to work with them through, or if I'm just sort of putting myself in a bad situation.
If you have enough self-esteem, you realize that you don't need to do that, and there's plenty of people you can have a great relationship with, and it can be hey, it was nice, and move on. You just don't get that crazy, silly emotional attachment if you have enough self-esteem. We don't encourage enough self-esteem, self-security, stability, wisdom in ourselves when it comes to relationships. It's, do you like them? No, that's really should be one of the later things that are discussed. But when we're with friends, how much do you like them? Oh, how great. You're just talking about that aspect of it. Is not, is this person actually going to be good for you? Tell me what the qualifications and considerations are. And then, by the way, do you like them? Yeah. Right? That's more of to find a good long-term stable relationship. It's, of course you like him. Why do we only talk about that? Oh, he's so great about this, and he's no. Okay, yeah, we get it. You're infatuated. No, let's have an intelligent conversation about is this person you should date? Yes or no? I don't know, maybe. And you look a little bit, but you're looking for reasons to exclude them from dating. Right.
Considering their tendencies to make poor decisions.
Low income and has a tendency to make poor decisions.
Bye.
Was he hiding it and you found out, or you were just talking about it and it's
just kind of come up naturally?
So it's bits and pieces. It started when we were talking.
I'm not sold. Bits and pieces, not a good answer.
About the hypothetical wedding stuff. And I said, given my history, I was leaning more towards separate accounts. The more I learned about, this.
Okay. I don't know about the separate accounts. Yeah. Look, you get somebody that's on your level and committed, and this is why you date them for a while. You see how they're doing with their money. You look at what their investments and portfolio is. It's not that you're marrying for money. Right. You're excluding them, though, for bad money practices. Right. Again, it's not, I'm so in love with you, let's find the reasons why this is so right. No. It's, we're a good match on paper. Let's see if we like each other. And let's take this nice and slow and see if we get along. And even if we do enjoy ourselves, I can move to someone else. If, hey, we're not compatible at this, I appreciate you. It's, I think well of you. No hard feelings. I appreciate it. This will feel bad for a minute, but we're not right. Let's move on.
Program, I learned that you want to be able to share accounts, but for sake of the conversation, I mentioned separate accounts, and he got really offended.
Yeah, so he also might be gold digging you too.
Yeah,
gold diggers hide their agendas.
You got to watch out for that, and that's the first indication that you're not on the same level. That's almost the more important compatibility issue than do you even like each other.
I think it's a red flag that he got offended. I agree. Immediately go, why are you getting offended about?
It depends on how the conversation went down.
Yeah.
And also it can be a sore emotional spot, but no, I agree with you. I agree with you fully.
And I brought up, I was like, well, you've told me that you're bad with money before, and I didn't know what that meant.
And you told me you were bad with money, and now I'm mentioning it, and you're offended.
Yeah.
You're not the right guy because you also don't know how to deal with people.
Right.
And then he mentioned a low credit score, and I'm like, well, we got to fix that before we get married. I mean, I can't.
No, you don't need to give a crap about a credit score.
And you don't need to get married.
Right. But your credit score, who cares? Because ideally, you won't have one because you have money. Your credit score only deals with how well you interact with credit. For you to have a good credit score, you have to have borrowed money and paid interest. You're buying a credit score, and that's not worth buying. You know what's better? Just having money. And then when you want to buy something, you just go buy it. You don't have to buy it on credit. You just buy it because you have money. The way that you do that is by never borrowing money. And therefore, if you never borrow money, you won't have a credit score. That's ideal. I'm looking for somebody, ideally, who doesn't have a credit score. What's your credit score? I don't know. I have millions of dollars in the bank. And I'm good with my money. Or I have thousands of dollars in the bank, or hundreds of thousands, or whatever. I've got an investment portfolio. I pay all my bills. I have 6 months worth of emergency fund in liquid cash for whatever purpose that I need. And my money is growing. And actually, I live off of what my money makes. I don't even have to work in order to support my lifestyle because my investments pay me money because I bought them. That's the secret in life. Yeah.
Can't have it.
This ain't going good for her so far.
And,
If anybody knows a Kelly in Philadelphia, PA, somebody might want to ask her out that has their finances down.
my car insurance and all my rates and everything. I've worked too hard to get where I'm at.
Exactly. You've worked entirely too hard for this. You're going to take it down, but for what? For what? What is he offering you? What is he bringing to the table? If he's the wrong guy, fine. No hard feelings. It doesn't mean anything. It means you're in two different places and you need to be in the same place to get married.
She doesn't want to be in this situation 10 years from now where she marries him. And then there was another caller that called in on Dave Ramsey. Same situation. They were married for like 10 years. She had great credit, she did really well, pay cash for all her stuff. And then she got married. And then next thing you know, she's in all this debt with her husband because he couldn't manage money.
Yep.
And she tried to do the Dave Ramsey program with her husband and he refused and he wouldn't sit down and do the meetings with her.
Yep.
Do you remember that caller? And
I remember that not only from the Dave Ramsey show, I remember that from the dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of those clients that we've had for the law firm that happens over and over and over again. This, you know what, Kelly, you're setting yourself up to have to hire us to do your divorce.
Yep.
This is not the right guy for you. There's plenty of guys out there. It's not, I got to take whatever one because I'm so damaged and messed up or
don't just settle because you want to have the wedding and the dress and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Which I think a lot of people do.
Well, and Summer and I, instead of spending $20,000 on a wedding, we said we're going to give ourselves $1,000 a year budget. Well, guess what? You invest $20,000 at a 10% rate of return. That's $2,000 a year. So we take half of what we earned and we live off that and spend it. And in the meantime, the money's growing. And so then it's $21,000. Well, the $1,000 budget, that's now only 45%. And then it grows again. The next year it's $22,500. And then the $1,000 budget, now it's only 40%. And the percentage that we're spending every year keeps shrinking. And the money that we would have spent on one party is growing. And we did that and decided we don't want to have a big ceremony. We spent $35 to get married.
Right.
How long have you been dating?
To a point.
Yeah, how long have they been dating?
4 months.
4 months.
And they're already going to get married?
And, well, hey, you can fall in love and do that stuff or whatever. I mean, it's an indication, I guess, that you're younger, but especially if she's already been married once. 4 months, I mean, already sleeping together and being not very wise with that. And if you've got this problem, though, everything about dating is eliminating everyone who is wrong.
If you already have doubts going on right now, because she's calling in here.
Yeah,
then,
you're calling a national radio show.
Yeah, then there's issues that you need to face.
We're already talking about marriage?
Yeah, and that's
what you reaction.
said. Other thing too is I sort of am kind of feeling like maybe there's a reason why he's trying to move,
Yeah, because you're financially better off than he is.
He needs a sugar mama.
She'll be my sugar mama.
You're a fast, easy way out, and he kind of likes you. And hey, this sounds good. And even if it doesn't work out, he'll be ahead.
you know, put pressure on it. He knows that financially I'm secure. I mean, I don't, you know, I'm not a
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
millionaire yet.
Do you
but
think
it's one
You
of
think
those
he's
things,
using
if
you
I
in a
didn't put-
sense of like,
Of course he's using you.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't realize it, even if you don't realize it, even if it's not what he intends, it's what's happening. He's
yeah.
human.
well, she's financially secure. I'm going to hitch my cart to this wagon.
Yes.
Yeah, is he trying to
I
freeload?
don't,
Yes.
I don't think that, but I do
Come on. That's why she has to call the radio show.
know, and he admitted that if I didn't push and pry about what's your credit, what do you owe, that he would have kept it from me because I'm
Yeah.
Oh, he would have kept it from you?
Yeah. And if you don't catch him when he's cheating on you with another woman, he won't tell you either.
Yeah.
the only
exactly.
person in his life he has ever
What
told
else
about
would he
his
lie
debt.
to you about?
Okay. I mean, it may just
Everything.
come from a place of shame and guilt and baggage. So if we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I agree, we need to pump the brakes on this relationship. And here's the thing we need to figure out: values and goals. Because people are willing to change.
Right.
Yeah. Values and goals, the most important thing.
Right.
But also you have habits. Your goal can be, oh, I'm going to be a non-drinker, but you can't quit drinking. She's marrying an alcoholic and who's drinking, just not like a recovered, not a quit alcoholic,
Right.
which is okay.
Yeah.
But still, I mean,
Right. I would never say, hey, don't date a guy because he has debt. But if,
I would. I'm a divorce lawyer. I see this all the time. It's not worth it. But this also part of this podcast, part of this episode is to teach you the things to look out for and to take into consideration. Because yeah, you had some debt. Daniel had some debt. I had some school debt. Summer had some debt she was in the process of paying off. And it just depends. You need to be in the right place, especially where she's at. They are too mismatched on that, and being mismatched on that it's a car wreck.
Right.
if you say this guy says he's fine staying in debt and he's fine where he's at,
Then do not marry him.
Right.
Anybody who says I'm fine with being in debt and I have no plan to get out of debt, do not marry them. That's number one. Dana's number one marriage advice, so that you don't have to hire us to handle your divorce.
That's a lack of motivation. So if they lack motivation there, what else are they going to lack motivation in their life? I mean, work.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, with their kids, with you.
Yep.
I mean, think about it.
Yep.
that's a huge red flag to me.
A huge red flag. That's the sky is on fire red
Yeah.
flag.
Yeah.
That's the flag is burning.
Yeah, is he willing? Is he actively working to pay off some of this debt? Is he
Exactly.
saying things like,
Come
yeah,
on,
once
come
I get
on,
out of
come
debt,
on,
blah blah blah,
come
or
on, please,
you know,
for her.
what are his views moving forward? Because just
Please.
because he started there, that doesn't necessarily.
And if he says that it's a trust and verify, you got to make him prove it. And then I'm still suspicious that he's going to do it
yeah.
just long enough to get her married and be out.
Yep.
Low income, problem, negative reaction when she brought it up. Too many problems.
mean that's his future. So
Yeah, so we had to talk about it once I found out that it's 70 grand and 50 of it
70. Okay,
Okay.
what do you think the 50 is? All right.
was acquired in the past 2 to
Did she say 50 is credit cards? Let's see.
70 grand and 50 of it was acquired in the past 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years he went into 50 grand worth of debt.
Wow.
So he is in the building the habit and feeding the habit.
Yes.
And going, how do I get out of this and solve this? Marry you. You know what else she needs to do? She needs to do an in-depth background check.
Yeah.
Because this guy may have been married a bunch of times. We have seen this before. There are pure gold diggers that come up. It could be a physical threat to her too. Because who knows? He could be a black widow. Do you know what a black widow is?
Yeah, they kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem.
By just credit card nonsense, knowing
Okay.
he's spending money he didn't
Credit cards too.
Yeah.
He earns a low amount of money and gotten into 50 grand worth of credit card debt.
have. And, he said he's
At 50 grand, you're paying max interest too.
willing to work through. I mean, I went through a budget with him and everything. There's like not a ton of money left to spend. He's willing to do it, but I was open about my concerns that it could happen again, and he got very defensive.
I would
so-
listen to this voice,
Boom.
Kelly. What I'm going to do,
It could happen again. He got very defensive. Well, maybe, because maybe he's getting defensive to himself and he's trying to convince himself. And maybe he's,
I think you're giving too much benefit of the doubt here.
well, I tend to do that a lot.
I don't. I think.
No,
Yeah.
I think she needs to
I
move
think
on.
he's on a really bad
It's too
path.
risky. Yeah. And you know what?
He's trying to marry her, and it's
Yeah.
going to pull her down.
Right. Let him get out of that
Let him get out of the debt and then marry
In the
him.
meantime, you move on and check back with him
Well,
in 2
not
years
necessarily.
if you haven't. Or,
They've been together 4 months. They can continue to date. Don't get married. Continue to date and let him work on his debt
for a couple of 3 years at least.
until he pays it
income.
off. But also make sure he's doing the steps he needs to do to get rid of it. If you're not seeing him progress within a year, I say jump out of that relationship. Don't keep investing into it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't,
because you're wasting your time.
I don't know that I would invest
youth.
into it even now, or I don't know.
I think I'd give them the opportunity.
Maybe.
But I would have to see. And I'm the type of person that I don't know if I would wait a year. It'd probably be a few, like 3 or 4 months if I don't see.
I'd say, let me see your finances this month. Let me tell me exactly what your plan is. And then let me see you work your plan.
But
and if you haven't worked your plan this month, that's it.
Here's the problem. How do you not know he's not hiding another credit card that he's accruing more debt on? So you look over here and you think he's paying it off. But
you check.
Yeah,
have him show you.
Yeah, well, you're going to have
pull
him
his credit
he's
union.
going to have to pull his credit report, constantly pulling it.
And when you see it, be careful that he's not, because that's so easily forgeable.
Quite frankly, so like on my Discover card, it automatically shows my credit score.
Yeah.
And it shows it for each month. So if you're seeing it increase, then that means that he's making good progress. If it decreases, that means
no. Your credit score, not necessarily. His score could still be increasing even if he's not paying his debt off.
Really?
Yes. Because if he's just making timely payments over a long enough period of time, he's not applying for new cards, and depending on how many new cards, and if he had a bunch of inquiries 2 years ago, and he's getting denied now because he's got too much credit out. Well, as those inquiries file off, that can cause his score to go up. You can't rely just on the score. What you need is the full credit report to look at, and what is the total amount of debt. And you go, how much did you make? I mean, I literally, before I would date them, I would say, I need to see your income and your I would just want a full financial report before I would even consider. You've already talked about marriage, right?
Did you do that with Summer? Give me your full financial report.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But would I now on a second marriage? Absolutely, without hesitation.
Well, you're in a different stage in your life.
I'm smarter and wiser. That's why we have a podcast here to teach everybody here what the wiser version of me would do.
Yeah, you're in a different stage in your life.
I am.
Too.
I'm in a similar stage of what she is.
Yeah.
Because she was divorced. Let's say I'm widowed, and how would I do it? I'm telling you exactly how I would do it. I'm telling you how exactly I would recommend all of our clients do it, how I would recommend that a child does it, a teenager, a 20 or something, who, by the way, really probably shouldn't get married, but it's okay. You can if you are in the right place. The problem is so many teenagers get tempted by too many things. They want to explore this, explore this, explore this. They don't know who they are. But if they know who they are, they decide who they are, and that's who they're going to be. And they're both magically able to be that less than 1% of people.
Right.
Can it work? Yeah. And can it be a good thing to do? Yeah, it can. And I'm not necessarily saying that, 18-year-olds shouldn't get married or any of that stuff. But,
I'm saying that 18-year-olds shouldn't get married.
But it's a whole lot easier if you're at least 25 when you get married, and it's real good if you're 35. At 35, you're going to probably have a good marriage. But she's had a marriage before. She's been through financial problems. She's probably got a type. So there's a book that I've been reading, and by reading, I mean listening to on Audible, and I've listened to 3 times now. It's by an author named Gay Hendricks. It's called The Big Leap, and it's conquer your hidden fear and take life to the next level. And it talks about how when you get to a certain point and your mindset, you're not ready to take that when good things start happening to you, you kick yourself back down. And that idea in combination with other ideas that the subconscious equates familiarity with safety, even if it's not, is that you're going to see things that remind you. She's probably attracted to a type of guy that's like that, because that's her subconscious saying, no, I'm only valuing this. I'm not comfortable with this success. I'm too happy. I need some kind of conflict. And she's manifesting that back in by being with this guy. It's probably a mistake. And would I do something like that? No, I wouldn't. And for example, if I was to pick somebody who to be with, I'd have to get somebody that's at Summer's level. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like I'm with a child. And I need somebody who doesn't drink alcohol anymore or at all. I mean, in the past, could they? Yeah. Is financially prudent, has something intellectually and spiritually to offer, is interesting in that we're compatible in other things. I also really would prefer somebody who likes to listen to something while they're sleeping, like have music on while we sleep. It would be excellent, because that's the one probably biggest problem that I have in our marriage, is that Summer needs perfect quiet and I need not quiet. Like 80% of the time. About 20% of the time I can sleep in quiet and it's okay. But
You got to have some opposites.
I get it, but why does it have to be damaging of sleep? I have to sleep with headphones in order to get to sleep. Otherwise, the stress and tension of just life and whatever, it's just, I don't know. But that's a very interesting book.
I can sleep with TV on. Like, stuff like that doesn't bother me. Dean, on the other hand, he has to have everything off. I used to fall asleep all the time with TV on. Like, noise,
that's what I like.
Noise
to do.
doesn't bother me. Like, he'll play video. If he plays a video game, I go to sleep.
I don't even like turning my brain off for those things.
It doesn't bother me.
There's a part of my brain that I sleep absorb stuff and always have. I went to bed on the night before my 7th birthday, and I couldn't snap my fingers or whistle, and that's all I wanted for my birthday. And I decided I was going to learn how to do it while I was sleeping tonight. And I woke up on my 7th birthday, capable of snapping my fingers and whistling well, not just at all, like to Dana level of performance on very well. And, but you got to find the right qualities in people. And it's not just, I hope I can get this one, or I hope that, that one's so pretty, I'm so attracted to that. That quality ain't worth it.
Right.
That is the least important out of all of them. And it's the one, if you want to have an ego and show off somebody to your friends, and you want a trophy wife or a trophy husband, trophy wives and trophy husbands ain't all that
right
what it appears to be, if it's only about looks. And there's a lot of problems with that, and we'll talk about that on the next episode. This is the Lawyer Dana Show.